Hello guys, welcome to another fantastic episode of Popcorn Questions. Yes, it's me, Lala Daddy. They have used popcorn to taunt me, to tell me to come and review a movie for them. So I'm here because of popcorn and because of Spider-Man No Way Home. That's the movie I'm going to be reviewing today. You know what the show is about, Popcorn Questions. Do check our page and check the playlist Popcorn Questions and see the movie reviews we've delivered for you guys. It's always a nice time being on this show. So basically, I'm going to start off with telling you the details of this movie. The first one is the director, John Watts. The lead actors in this movie include the new Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Is it Tom Holland? Yes, Tom Holland. And the other lead actors like Jamie Foxx, Zendaya, you know, that singer, actor girl did well. And some other actors. Like, the idea behind this movie was they had to bring together the Spider-Man from the different multiverse. If you're listening and you're trying to remember or trying to find out what is a multiverse, according to these guys, Marvel, multiverse, they have different Spider-Mans. They have a Spider-Man who was the first one in my time. I'm not talking about the ones of 1980 or 1970. In my time, there was a Spider-Man. The first one, he was Tobey Maguire. So that period, we had Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. Then we had Andrew Garfield, who was another Spider-Man and had two Spider-Man movies under his belt. And the new guy, Tom Holland, who is the latest Spider-Man, and he has appeared in over 5 Spider-Man movies. Not just Spider-Man movies, he was on Captain America, he was on Endgame, he was on different movies, different Marvel movies, and it's done well so far. So they brought all 3 of them together for this particular Spider-Man No Way Home. A little bit about the story on this one. The movie is about, I don't know if you remember the last Spider-Man. Spider-Man was set up. I mean, his identity was revealed, and the guy who revealed the identity was a hero. And then he was able to reveal his identity, and then his world just went spiraled out of control. Now everybody knows who Spider-Man is, and he's not able to live a normal life. So he thinks, what am I going to do to stop this from further affecting me? And the wild idea came to him because I'm going to go to Doctor Strange. Yes, the same Doctor Strange. He went to him and then he said, I want this to change. From there on, it was the beginning of a whole mess that created this whole new Spider-Man No Way Home. Doctor Strange was trying to do a spell, and Spider-Man, because he talks too much, he interrupted Doctor Strange, and the whole thing just blew up in their faces. And that brought in both the original Spider-Mans from the different multiverses and the villains. Yes, the villains, Jamie Foxx, the shocking guy, the electricity guy, the reptile guy, the Green Goblin, and the octopus guy. He brought in everyone, every villain, and the original Spider-Man who took them away, he brought them into this, multiverse of the new Spider-Man. And that's just the whole idea of the story. The whole idea was the 3 Spider-Men, they came together and they decided, or they acted together to stop these villains. That's what they tried to do. Moving on to I'll just share the direction with you guys. Moving on to the cinematography. I think that aspect was really good. Marvel movies have a way of delivering nice movies. There's usually no hiccups in the cinematography aspect of it, but in the acting part, sometimes you just get frustrated or you just get confused as to what they're doing. One of the good things I liked about this Spider-Man movie was the interaction between the 3 different Spider-Men. They were able to share similarities, and they were being modest artists. I think that was a deliberate attempt from the directors. They shared their Spider-Man experiences, how they were. 2 of them had a MJ. One was Mary Jane, one was another one. Another one had Gwen. You get, so they all had similarities. A lover that they could not be with, or that died, or whatever it is. Only the new one, the recent one, did have someone he loved, which was Zendaya. Zendaya was the one he loved. Some of the other part of their back and forth where they were sharing their similarities. The first Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, the original one, could shoot spider webs from inside his body. It didn't require any sort of mechanical or biological input for him to shoot his spider webs. Whereas the second guy, Andrew Garfield, he always had to have a setup that he had to always input in his arms so that he could fire his spider webs. Then the third guy, I mean, he also needed some extra help from Iron Man to do that as well. So the other thing that they had in common, I mean that made them different was the first one. They kept the costume of each Spider-Man, which was really, really nice. The first Spider-Man was really clothy Spider-Man. There was no much paparazzi about his outfit, and then he would usually just wear it and then wear something over it. Then the second guy had a bit of nice tech outfit. The costume was really nice. Then the third guy who had nanotechnology thanks to Iron Man and the guys, that they built a nanotech suit for him, and then everything was all nice. Those part of the movie was really nice. I enjoyed that. The parts of the movie I did not enjoy at all, where I don't get the whole point of bringing 3 different Spider-Mans from different multiverses. It just makes the whole thing confusing. I didn't see a need for it, especially when, the whole thing, there was an easy fix, right? Doctor Strange casted a spell, and the spell was nonsense. And he goes, oh, I'm going to destroy this spell so that it doesn't happen and send everybody back. I don't know where there's a stupid, well, it's a movie and it's fantasy. There's always a stupid idea of somebody thinking, oh, there's another way, a harder way that will mess things up. And at the end of it all, it messed things up for the new Spider-Man, Tom Holland, because at the end of it all, everybody had to forget who Spider-Man was. But at the end of it, everybody forgot who Spider-Man was, and they cured most of these guys. The reptile guy, he was a scientist. He was trying to turn the human race into reptiles. He got cured. Jamie Foxx, the electricity guy, he also got cured. Octopus guy, who the chip on his neck was making the octopus controlling, he got cured. The only person that didn't get cured, or did he get cured? Yeah, it was Green Goblin. He was the master villain in this movie, and he played his part really well. He was from the first Spider-Man that had Tobey Maguire, and he was in this one, and he really killed his character, and it was really nice. In terms of the edits, I think it was really nice. I enjoyed it. There was a particular bit where the 3 Spider-Men decided, oh, we're going to swing into action. And then we had the first guy come with his own different pose. Second guy, the third Spider-Man, they all came together, and they were kicking asses basically. And they interestingly, they had different poses, and the way they swing and everything was totally different. And that part was the gang part of that movie, and I totally enjoyed that. Soundtrack of the movie, it was really nice. Marvel have a way of giving you goosebumps when something's about to happen in their movie and you hear the soundtrack. So it was really good for me. Moral lesson of this Spider-Man movie, I think the guys at Marvel really need to be more creative. We don't need different villains or same versions of the same character that are coming together and just saying, oh, this one is from this universe. I don't think that needs to happen. I think this should be the last time they do something like that with the Spider-Man franchise. There's always an idea. Please bring up the next villain. Although we have an idea of what's going to come next, there's a certain Venom who was at the end. He was at the end of the movie. It was a bit surprised about what happened in Endgame. That happened there. One of the things I also like about the Spider-Man, or that I don't like about the Spider-Man movie franchise, well, I understand why they did this, because according to them, they did sign a deal with the different writers of Spider-Man. They wanted to keep the whole idea, the whole spine of what Spider-Man was about, and they wanted to be different in their writing. That's what they did, and that's why we have 3 different writers of Spider-Man: the one of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. All in all, it wasn't a bad movie. I'm going to rate it generally. I'd rate it a 6.5 over 10 movie. That's like a 3.5 star movie. I think it's worth 3.5 star because it was enjoyable to watch. It was long. I think some of the things could have been avoided. There are several things that you feel this is not needed. For example, trying to save all these villains. They're villains for a reason. Why are you trying to save a villain? You get so, but that's what the movie is about, and they just made it unnecessarily long. And I think the guys at Marvel can actually do better. There are several options for the Marvel franchise and the comic franchise that they can do more, like in terms of what's it called, the Captain America. He's retired, right? He gave his shield to a black man. Why not explore a black Captain America? Explore different options of this other movie. Even if it's a Spider-Man, there are several villains that you can bring to life, that can bring to life in the movie. So I think they can do better in that regard. Overall, it's a good movie. I enjoyed watching it. And guys, if you want to have the best experience, please visit your nearest cinemas and watch Spider-Man No Way Home. I've not been eating my popcorn season. That's what brought me here. Anyway, guys, I'm going to see you on the next episode of Popcorn Questions. It's been a nice time breaking down Spider-Man No Way Home with you guys. See you all next time.